My humble opinion on Deathrattle, Sing for Me by Jormanine, Norma Jean, is that I think it's a solid album. I don't listen to a lot of metal music these days, but Norma Jean is one of the few artists that I that I still respect and appreciate. Although I will say I haven't listened to an album since Wrongdoers, which doesn't really make sense because I liked Wrongdoers, so I don't know why I stopped listening to them. I think there was a couple years where I just kind of stopped caring about metal as much, but I'm getting back into it. There's a few artists that I still appreciate, and I mean I like the Chariot, 68. Even though some of these artists I don't know if you can really classify as metal. I guess hardcore sorta. The Chariot, 68. The Ongoing Concept, which they have a new album coming out, which I'm really excited about. Maylene and the Sons of Disaster, old Under Oath stuff, you know, that's the stuff that I like. And Death Rattle Sing for Me is solid. I think I've heard some Norma Jean fans say that it's kind of so for a Norma Jean album, which I don't really understand, but that's because I haven't really listened to them in a long time. But there's great stuff in here. I've always appreciated Norma Jean's balance between big chaotic sounds and more melodic sounds. It's beautiful, honestly. And there's a lot of that. There's a lot of songs that are great to bop to, and a lot of really good songwriting as well. It seems that the lead singer, I forget his name, he is going through a lot of stuff. There's a lot of emotional rawness to the lyrics, and I like that. And which it's interesting because when I was looking up this album, I I realized that there was some news that I missed from like a couple of years ago that was very interesting. The lead singer had a bit of taste of cancel culture. Firstly, because he had said at a show, I think, that, you know, MAGA hats are welcome. People like MAGA people are welcome. And then he posted on Twitter some sort of post that was criticizing Black Lives Matter. And he got canceled, sort of, for it. Which, honestly, hearing that news was kind of refreshing to me. It's refreshing to know that people that I can agree with philosophically and politically and such, even religiously, can still make good music. Because I've made the complaint before that people who are more on the conservative side, don't make great art. That's a generalization. There are exceptions, and Norma Jean is one of them, and I think that's great. It's very refreshing to hear. So that aside, I think it's a good album. It's growing on me the more that I listen to it. So it's just the kind of album that I need to give more time. But yeah, I don't know. Death Rattle Sing for Me. If you're a Norma Jean fan, I think you'll definitely like it, even though it seems that some are like it's okay. But oh, check it out. I give it I get it's somewhere between a 7 and an 8 so far. So, anyways, Death Rattle Sing for Me, Norma Jean. And here we got the new CityAlight album. This is pretty big because CityAlight has not released a full album in years. I think their last album was 2016. And they have released like the odd single every now and again, and I think a couple EPs or something, but they haven't had a full length for a while. And this one is There Is One Gospel. I will say though, I have a lot of good things to say about this album, but the album art is not one of them. I think it's kind of bad. Just in my opinion. They may be great songwriters, but they're not good graphic designers. Not in this instance, at least. They've had good album covers before, but this is not one of them. Anyways, There Is One Gospel is a good album. It's a good worship album. And I tend to criticize, I tend to review worship albums, worship music differently than I review regular Christian music, um, because worship music, I think, has a different intention, or at least should have a different intention than, regular music. Because, and I want to say this because some of the issues that I have with like Hillsong and Bethel is that there's the lines between Christian music and worship music are being blurred because we're forgetting what worship music is supposed to be. Worship to God. And this is why I appreciate artists like CityAlight, is because they get it. They understand that the lyrics should be pointing towards God. They should be about God. They should be directed to God. If you're reading the lyrics and all you're getting is the main theme that you're getting is that it's about me, it's about people or whatever, then it's not a worship song. Probably not. But I don't get that vibe at all with There's One Gospel. I listen to this album and it's like I can imagine. I would love to sing these songs in a congregation setting. And one thing that I love about CityAlight is that they're not personality focused, as opposed to a lot of other worship bands out there. Yes, they have their lead singers to like lead the song. Like you listen to a song and you know who's like that there's a singular voice that is leading the song. But the way that they mix their music is that you hear, I don't know if they have a choir or something, or if their congregation are just really good singers, but you listen to it and you're like, there's not just one person singing ever. Hardly. I don't think so. I didn't catch anything. But like the verses, they're not solos. You got a bunch of backup singers singing along. It's either their whole team of backup singers or their choir or their congregation. I don't know. But it sounds like a bunch of people singing. And that's great. I think that when you listen to it, it allows you to feel more welcomed to sing along rather than let it be a whole solo show, And that's what I like. And there are some songs in here that have some great melodies and beautiful emotional lyrics. I won't say that CityAlight is the most like musically creative songwriters, but me personally, I don't always like my worship music to be flashy. Bethel can do that, Hillsong can do that, but CityAlight puts a lot more focus on the lyricism, and I appreciate that actually. And if you're not into that, then that's okay. I think maybe Sovereign Grace is a little better in some instances, but anyways, I think it's pretty solid as a worship album, and it has some memorable songs like the title track and This Is the Day. Some good stuff in there. And I would recommend it to anyone. I would recommend it to any worship leaders out there that need some good, solid theological music, and anyone who just needs some music to add to their devotional time. If you do that, that's good too. What else we got? New single from Tyson Motsenbocker. We're on it. He's releasing his new album pretty soon, and Milk Teeth. But his new track, Wendy Darling, is another good like pop track, but this one has a lot more, kind of jazzy, not influence, but it has some like 80s kind of saxophone in there. It's really fun, and what I'm expecting from this album is just for it to be like a fun album, kind of nostalgic in theme. So, which actually is kind of a common theme in a lot of Tyson Motsenbocker's music. But yeah, good indie pop alternative track. Wendy Darling, I recommend it. And then next up, this is a big one, kind of. Caedmon's Call. They released their first track from the upcoming remake of their self-titled album. Talked about this before when they announced it. So their first track is Hope to Carry On, which I'm pretty sure was track 1 in the self-titled album. So yeah, it's their new remake of the song. And what do I think about it? What is my humble opinion on it? It's good. But it's really not that different from the original in terms of music and lyrics. You know, they didn't change anything. The mix is different and it sounds more updated. So if any fans out there were expecting an exact duplication of the original song, it's not exactly there. But if you're a fan and you were expecting just like a revised, more updated mix to it, then this is your thing, you know? So yeah, hope to carry on. It's not really that different from the original, except for in those aspects. And if you liked hope to carry on, then you'll like this rendition. I will say, Hope to Carry On wasn't my favorite track from the album, from what I remember. I was much more into tracks like Bus Driver and I Just Don't Want Coffee Tonight. That's my favorite, which ironically are the Derek Webb songs. You guys probably know my feelings about Derek Webb today, which is a interesting point of conversation in this topic, because obviously I just think Derek Webb needs to get saved. He's one of the deconstructed Christian artists and all that, and from what I understand, his beliefs include a lot of universalism and all that, and I just don't think that that's the true gospel. So I think he needs to repent in that area. But I still think that he's a great songwriter, and this album would not be complete without him. So, gotta give a little to have a little. Derek Webb's presence on this album taints it a little bit, but at the same time, it wouldn't be a Caedmon's Call album without him. I just wish that he would repent in his views on the gospel, but praying for you, Derek. I love you. I just want that to be clear. I may be cynical, but I still love you. Anyways, so yeah, Hope to Carry On. It's all right. It's good. It's what you would expect, pretty much, from a remake of a 90s folk song. And I think that's it.
Hey, so I don't know if you guys know this, but what you just watched was basically just a clip of a full podcast episode of my podcast, The I'm Clifford Today Show. So you should just go check out that whole episode. Also, while you're at it, you might as well like the video and subscribe to my channel. That'd be really nice. I mean, you're nice people, right? Okay.